Welcome, traveler. The long hours of the waking world have passed, and it is finally time to rest. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in and let it out. Release the weight of the day from your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Let your thoughts settle like falling autumn leaves. Tonight, we journey far beyond the borders of ordinary time, stepping into a sanctuary of ancient peace. We are crossing the threshold into the golden woods of Lothlorien at twilight. Here, beneath the whispering canopy of silver and gold, there is only quiet reflection and deep, untroubled slumber. Let us begin. The long, weary roads of the waking world have finally brought you to the edge of a hidden boundary. Above you, the sky is slowly surrendering the last brilliant hues of the afternoon, bleeding into a breathtaking gradient of bruised violet, deep indigo, and fading honeyed gold. The frantic pace of your day begins to unravel with every breath you take, melting away into the cooling evening air. You are standing at the northwestern borders of a realm spoken of only in hushed, reverent whispers. This is the threshold of the Golden Wood, a sanctuary untouched by the restless anxieties of ordinary time. As the sun dips lower behind the distant, shadowed peaks of the misty mountains, a profound, heavy stillness settles over the valley. The shadows cast by the great trees grow long and soft, stretching out like a comforting blanket. With each passing moment, the world around you seems to slow down, easing into a gentle, languid rhythm that invites your tired mind to follow. The evening breeze stirs, carrying with it a scent so pure and clean that it immediately clears the fog of your thoughts. It smells of ancient earth, of leaves that know no decay, and of a subtle, sweet fragrance you cannot yet name. Listen closely to the wind as it brushes past your ears, a soft, rhythmic, hushing sound that murmurs through the unseen branches. Beneath the whisper of the wind, there is another sound, steady and inviting. It is the musical, rhythmic bubbling of flowing water. It is the voice of the Nimrodel stream, tumbling gently down from the high mountain springs to greet you. The sound is a natural lullaby, a constant, soothing frequency that begins to mask the chaotic noise of the world you have left behind. You take a slow, deliberate step forward, drawn by the hypnotic melody of the stream, leaving the fading lands behind. You reach the edge of the water, pausing on the gently sloping bank to take in the serene beauty of the crossing. The Nimrodel is not wide, nor is it fiercely deep, but it flows with a pristine clarity that rivals the finest crystal. In the dimming twilight, the surface of the stream is a glassy mirror, catching the purple and gold of the sky and fracturing it into 1,000 dancing ripples. Beneath the surface, smooth, rounded river stones rest in perfect peace, polished by centuries of gentle currents. On the far side of the stream, the true eaves of the forest begin. You can just make out the massive, imposing trunks of the outermost malern trees. Their bark is smooth and silver gray, glimmering faintly in the dusk, like pillars of moonlight. They stand as silent, steadfast guardians of the realm, watching your approach with an ancient, welcoming calm. Before you cross, you stand still upon the bank, allowing yourself a moment to consciously release the burdens you have carried this far. The Nimrodel acts as a sacred boundary, a dividing line between the world of worry and the world of sleep. You close your eyes, inhaling the crisp, cool air, and as you exhale, you imagine setting down a heavy weight from your shoulders. You let your arms hang loosely at your sides. You allow your fingers to uncurl and relax. You loosen the tension in your jaw and let your facial muscles soften. You are entirely safe here. There is nowhere else you need to be, and absolutely nothing else you need to do. Slowly, with a mind swept clear of distraction, you step forward and wade into the shallows of the gentle stream. The immediate sensation is a breathtaking, pure cold. The mountain water swirls gently around your ankles, a crisp, awakening chill that sends a shiver of profound relief through your tired limbs. This coldness is deeply restorative. As the cool water rushes over your skin, it draws the accumulated heat and tension away from your muscles. It mimics the natural, gentle cooling of your own body as it prepares to surrender to sleep. The physical sensation is grounding, pulling your scattered thoughts away from abstract worries and anchoring them entirely in the physical reality of the present moment. You feel the smooth, water-worn stones beneath the soles of your feet, providing a firm, gentle massage with every slow, deliberate step you take. The lore of this land speaks of the Nimrodel possessing a magic to wash away the stain of travel and all weariness from your limbs, and you feel that ancient promise working its spell. In the middle of the crossing, the soundscape is an immersive, hypnotic symphony of water and stone. The bubbling and soft splashing create a blanket of white noise that isolates you from everything else. It is a steady, rhythmic rush that matches the slowing pace of your own heartbeat. You stand there for a long moment, swaying just a fraction with the gentle push of the current. You tilt your head back, breathing in the mist above you. The sky has deepened into a rich, velvety indigo. The first faint stars are beginning to prick through the veil of evening, tiny pinpricks of soft silver light. With a slow, languid motion, you begin to wade toward the opposite bank. The water pushes gently against you, providing a soft resistance that makes your movements feel delightfully sluggish and heavy, the kind of pleasant effort that precedes deep slumber. Your foot breaks the surface of the water, stepping out of the cold stream and onto the far shore. The contrast is immediate and wonderful. Beneath your feet is not dirt or harsh stone, but a carpet of unfading grass and deep spring green moss. It yields perfectly to your weight, a fragrant, sponge-like cushion that immediately warms your chilled skin. You stand at the edge of the golden wood, the river now at your back, whispering its eternal, soothing lullaby. The air within the perimeter of the trees is incredibly still, sheltered from the winds of the outer world. Your eyelids flutter, heavy with an exhaustion that is deeply comforting. You have crossed the threshold into the nostalgic, magical dusk of the elven realm. With a slow, contented sigh, you prepare to take your first steps into the heart of the forest, completely ready to rest. You have left the cold, rushing waters of the Nimrodel behind, taking your first slow, deliberate steps away from the riverbank and into the true perimeter of the Golden Wood. The transition is profound and immediate, like stepping through a high, unseen window into a vanished, pristine world. Outside these borders, the world is loud, hurried, and burdened with the relentless march of ordinary time. But here, beneath the eaves of Lothlorien, time seems to behave differently. It stretches and softens, losing its sharp edges and its demanding urgency. The heavy, bruised purple of the twilight sky is suddenly obscured as you walk beneath the outermost boughs of the ancient trees. A vast, sheltering canopy seals you inside a sanctuary of profound, unbroken quiet. The silence here is not empty or desolate. It is a rich, living presence. It is the hushed, expectant stillness of a world that is holding its breath just for you, waiting for you to fully arrive and lay down your weariness. With every step you take onto the soft, unfading grass, the chaotic noise of the waking world fades further into the distance until it becomes nothing more than an echo of an echo, entirely powerless to reach you. You allow your shoulders to drop, feeling a wave of deep, unhurried peace wash over your tired mind. As your eyes adjust to the dim, serene lighting of the forest, the true majesty of the wood reveals itself. Rising from the deep spring green moss all around you are the massive, imposing trunks of the Lothlorien trees. They are unlike any trees you have ever known in the lands beyond. Their bark is entirely smooth, devoid of rough ridges or harsh textures, and it glows with a soft, ethereal silver-gray hue in the gathering dusk. They stand like magnificent, living pillars of moonlight, supporting the vast architecture of the forest. You reach out a heavy, relaxed hand to brush your fingertips against the nearest trunk as you pass. The wood is cool and incredibly smooth to the touch, grounding you firmly in the gentle reality of the present moment. You feel the immense, ancient strength radiating from the tree, a steady, unyielding support that invites you to let go of your own need to be strong. You do not need to carry the weight of the world here. These ancient silver sentinels have stood for countless ages, holding up the sky, and they will hold you now. You lean into that feeling of absolute security, allowing your breathing to slow and deepen, matching the slow, patient life force of the great trees that surround you. You tilt your head back, letting your gaze wander up the length of the silver pillars, following the straight, towering trunks until they sweep dramatically outward and upward into a crown of countless boughs. Above you stretches the breathtaking marvel that gives this realm its name, a continuous, overlapping roof of pale gold. The Lothlorien leaves, broad and perfect, do not fall with the passing of the seasons. Instead, they remain firmly on their branches, turning a rich, luminous yellow that seems to capture and hold the memory of the sun. Even now, as the deep blues and indigos of twilight settle over the forest floor, the golden canopy above seems to generate its own soft, intrinsic glow. It is a warm, amber luminescence that filters down through the layers of foliage, casting a gentle, painterly light over the silver trunks and the green earth. This warm ambient glow contrasts beautifully with the cool shadows pooling around your feet, creating a perfectly balanced atmosphere that tells your mind it is time to rest. The light is so soft, so diffused and magical that it soothes your tired eyes. You feel your eyelids fluttering, growing increasingly heavy beneath the comforting, golden roof of the world, wrapping you in a blanket of supreme coziness. Your gaze returns to the path ahead, and you become intimately aware of the ground beneath your feet. The floor of the wood is carpeted in a thick, fragrant sward of grass that remains a deep, vibrant spring green, even in the depths of winter. It is interwoven with rich mosses that yield like a perfectly formed cushion beneath your weight. Every slow, dragging footstep you take is completely muffled by this natural velvet, absorbing the impact and returning only a sensation of profound softness. It is as if the earth itself is rising gently to meet you, eager to support your tired limbs and ease the ache of your journey. You imagine the tension draining out of your calves, your ankles, and the soles of your feet, melting away into the cool, receptive moss. The physical act of walking requires almost no effort at all. It is a gentle, hypnotic, gliding motion, carrying you deeper into the heart of the forest. With each footfall, a subtle, sweet fragrance rises from the bruised grass, a clean, ancient scent that clears your mind of any lingering, intrusive thoughts. You are completely absorbed in the simple, repetitive rhythm of your own unhurried movement, sinking deeper and deeper into a state of physical tranquility. A faint, lazy breeze wanders through the immense grove, stirring the golden leaves high above. The sound they make is entirely unique to this realm. It is not the dry, harsh rattle of autumn woods, but a soft, musical whispering, a gentle, rhythmic shushing that cascades down from the canopy like a slow wave of water. Hush, hush. The sound sweeps over you, a natural, ancient lullaby that commands your racing thoughts to finally cease. You find your own breath naturally syncing with the rhythm of the wind. As the breeze swells gently, you take a long, slow breath in, filling your lungs with the pure, fragrant air. And as the breeze fades into a soft sigh, you exhale, releasing the very last remnants of your worldly anxiety. You inhale peace and you exhale weariness. The cycle repeats, steady and unbroken, drawing you further down into a heavy twilight trance. The shadows around the bases of the silver trees grow deeper, pooling into rich, velvety darkness that feels incredibly safe and inviting. There is a profound sense of melancholy here, a beautiful, nostalgic sorrow for vanished times. But it is a sorrow that brings immense comfort. It grants you the absolute permission to stop striving, to stop worrying about tomorrow, and to simply exist within the quiet embrace of the present. As you press deeper into the heart of the golden wood, the fading twilight of the outside world is entirely replaced by the intrinsic, magical dusk of the elven realm. The path before you is not made of packed earth or harsh, unyielding stone, but of a thick, living tapestry. The evening air is pleasantly cool, yet it carries a subtle, inviting warmth that settles comfortably against your skin. You look down, your heavy eyes tracking the mesmerizing pattern of the forest floor. It is carpeted in a rich, unfading, spring green grass, a color so deep and poignant that it seems to hold the memory of ancient sunlit days. Interwoven with this grass is an unbelievably soft, dense moss that yields like velvet beneath your feet. Every slow, dragging footstep is absorbed by this natural cushion, silencing your passage completely. The sheer softness of the earth sends a wave of profound relief up through the soles of your feet, easing the dull ache in your tired ankles and calves. You feel as though you are no longer walking, but gently gliding across a sea of emerald and amber, supported by the very foundation of this timeless sanctuary. Scattered across this vast green expanse are the fallen leaves of the colossal malern trees. Unlike the dying, brittle foliage of mortal autumns, these leaves are a pristine, luminous pale gold, shaped flawlessly and resting perfectly upon the moss. They do not wither or crunch beneath your weight. Instead, they lie like scattered coins of starlight, guiding your way deeper into the sanctuary. You can almost see the intricate, delicate veins mapping the surface of each fallen leaf, a testament to the enduring life of this place. As the deep indigo shadows of night begin to gather in the distances between the massive silver trunks, these fallen leaves seem to capture and radiate a soft, warm, amber glow. This ambient luminescence provides just enough light to see the path, a gentle, painterly illumination that does not strain your weary eyes. You find your gaze locked onto the rhythmic passing of these golden leaves beneath your feet. One after another, step by step, they create a hypnotic visual metronome. Your mind, previously cluttered with the frantic noise and anxieties of the waking day, begins to narrow its focus entirely to this simple, beautiful repetition. The contrast between the cool, dark teal of the moss and the warm, glowing yellow of the leaves forms a perfect harmony, a visual lullaby that coaxes your eyelids to droop lower with every passing second. With each muffled step you take into the velvety grass, a subtle, intoxicating fragrance rises into the still evening air. It is the scent of the unseen winter flowers that bloom endlessly within this hidden land, the sweet, clean perfume of the elusive Eleanor and the pale Nifredil. The aroma is ancient and incredibly pure, lacking any of the heavy, cloying sweetness of ordinary blooms. It smells of crisp starlight, of undisturbed peace, and of a profound, nostalgic sorrow that paradoxically brings you absolute comfort. You take a long, deliberate breath in through your nose, allowing this restorative scent to fill your lungs. Your chest expands fully, taking in the ancient magic of the woodland, and as the fragrance washes over your senses, you can physically feel the tight, knotted muscles in your shoulders begin to loosen and unwind. You hold the breath for a gentle moment, savoring the feeling of being entirely cleansed of your daily burdens, and then you release it in a slow, lingering sigh. With that long exhalation, you let go of the very last threads of your tension. Your breathing naturally slows down, finding a deep, steady rhythm that mirrors the slumbering pulse of the ancient forest surrounding you. The physical act of moving forward requires less and less effort. The thick, fragrant sward seems to rise up to cradle your boots, making each step feel delightfully heavy and wonderfully slow. You become acutely aware of the weight of your own limbs, a pleasant, sinking sensation that signals your body's complete readiness for sleep. Your arms hang loosely by your sides, your fingers uncurled and entirely relaxed. You let your jaw go slack, releasing the unconscious tension you have carried there all day. The deeper you venture into the sprawling grove of silver pillars, the more the outside world ceases to exist. There are no deadlines here, no demands, no urgent tasks waiting for your attention. The shadows gathering at the base of the mighty roots are a deep, velvety indigo, offering a visual resting place for your tired mind. There is only the incredibly soft ground beneath you, the towering, protective canopy of golden leaves high above, and the endless, enveloping quiet. You sway slightly as you walk, a gentle, rocking motion that lulls your conscious mind into a state of deep twilight trance. You are perfectly safe, perfectly hidden, and perfectly at peace within the heart of this ancient, unaging paradise. As you wander further along this cushioned path, a profound sense of timelessness washes over you, wrapping around your mind like a heavy, warm blanket. In this realm, the relentless ticking of the clock is silenced, replaced by the eternal, unhurried breath of the trees. You realize with a deep and comforting certainty that you could walk upon this soft, unfading green carpet for 1,000 years and never feel the bite of true weariness again. The dimming light, the intoxicating scent of the earth, and the absolute, muffling silence work together in perfect harmony to dismantle the last of your psychological defenses. You are no longer fighting the urge to rest. You are welcoming it, embracing the heavy, sweet fog of exhaustion that settles over your brain. Your thoughts become wonderfully fragmented and slow, drifting away like the pale golden leaves caught in a lazy, unseen current of air. Every sensory detail of Lothlorien is specifically designed to grant you sanctuary, to offer you a place where you can finally, completely lay down your arms. You feel held by the forest, cradled in the palm of an ancient, benevolent force. You take one more slow, dragging step, feeling the velvet moss press gently against your soles, and you surrender yourself entirely to the quiet, descending peace of the golden wood. The slow, hypnotic rhythm of your footsteps gradually changes as the winding path begins to slope gently upward. You have wandered deep into the Nath, the very heart of the ancient realm, and before you rises the great grassy mound known as Serene. It is an open space, a vast, gentle hill rising from the floor of the forest, covered in a sward of grass as green as the springtime of the elder days. As you stand at the foot of this walled hill, you notice that the shadows of night are beginning to pool thickly around its base, creating a soft, velvety sea of indigo and deep green. Yet, the crest of the mound still seems to catch a faint, lingering memory of the day, a soft, magical illumination that draws you upward. It is here that the true, timeless peace of Lothlorien is most concentrated. You take a slow, deep breath, tasting the impossibly clean, cool air, and begin the leisurely, effortless ascent. The ground beneath your boots is springy and soft, completely absorbing the weight of your tired body, making the act of climbing feel less like an effort and more like floating. As you ascend, you lift your heavy, relaxed gaze to the summit of the mound, catching your breath at the breathtaking architecture of nature that crowns it. Upon the very top of Serene grows a magnificent double circle of trees. The outer ring is composed of slender, graceful trees with bark of snowy white. They are utterly leafless, yet they are not dead or barren. Instead, they stand beautiful in their shapely, smooth nakedness against the darkening sky. Their white branches reach upward like delicate, frosted fingers, forming a stark, stunning contrast to the deep, bruising purple and rich blue of the descending night. Within this outer ring stands an inner circle of towering malorn trees of great height, still completely arrayed in their canopy of pale, luminous gold. It is a vision of absolute, unblemished perfection. There is no blemish, no sickness, and no deformity to be seen anywhere upon this earth. You pause on the gentle slope, swaying slightly in the faint evening breeze, completely mesmerized by the sheer, pristine beauty of the white and gold sentinels guarding the summit. You continue your slow, deliberate climb, your eyes now drawn to the incredible tapestry of the earth immediately around you. At the feet of the great trees, and spreading all about the green hillsides, the unfading grass is heavily studded with small, radiant winter flowers. You see the yellow Elena, shaped like tiny, perfect stars, shining brightly upon the sea of green. They seem to emit a soft, intrinsic golden light of their own, mixing the essence of silver and gold upon the earth. Growing among them, nodding gently on their slender stalks in the breeze, are the pale nifredile flowers, bearing shades of white and the palest, most delicate green. Together, they glimmer like a soft, low-lying mist amid the rich hue of the grass. The sight of them fills your heart with a sweet, poignant joy. These flowers are companions of dreamy images, carrying a unique, calming weight behind their fragile look. You walk through them with agonizing slowness, taking care not to crush a single petal, letting the mesmerizing pattern of yellow stars and pale mist lull your active mind into a state of quiet, thoughtless wonder. Reaching the summit, you step between the smooth, snowy, white trunks of the outer trees and enter the inner sanctuary beneath the golden malorn. The atmosphere here is thick with a beautiful, nostalgic sorrow for vanished times, a sorrow that miraculously brings you an overwhelming sense of comfort. It is said that upon this mound, the grim years are removed from the face of a weary traveler, and they become wrapped in a fair, unburdened memory. You feel this ancient magic working upon you now. The heavy cloak of your daily worries, your anxieties, and the relentless pressure of the outside world simply dissolves into the cool night air. You realize that you have stepped through a high, unseen window into a vanished world, a place where the concept of rushing does not exist. You are entirely isolated from the demands of the waking hours. Here, there is only the present moment, the soft whisper of the wind through the golden leaves, and the steady, slowing rhythm of your own heart. Allow this profound, ancient peace to physically manifest within your body, standing in the center of this soft, fragrant grass. Consciously grant yourself permission to let go. Focus your attention on the muscles of your face, where so much unconscious tension is stored. Let your forehead become completely smooth, like the clear surface of the Nimrodel stream. Unclench your jaw, allowing your teeth to part slightly, and let your tongue rest heavily in your mouth. Feel the grim years, the stress of the day, physically draining away from your cheeks and your temples, leaving your expression entirely soft, relaxed, and at peace. Drop your shoulders, letting them sink down away from your ears, releasing the heavy burdens you have been carrying for so long. Your arms become loose and incredibly heavy, hanging comfortably at your sides. Your entire body feels as though it is melting downward, anchored safely to the heart of elvendom on earth. You tilt your head back one last time, looking high up into the branches of the towering Malorn tree that stands in the very center of the glade. There, gleaming softly through the golden foliage, you see a white wooden platform, a flet, resting securely among the massive boughs. It is a promise of the shelter that awaits you, a safe haven suspended between the earth and the stars. The sight of it brings a wave of deep, sleepy satisfaction. You do not need to climb it yet. Simply knowing that such a sanctuary exists is enough to quiet the final restless whispers of your mind. The last of the ambient daylight has completely faded now, leaving only the cool, gentle starlight to filter through the canopy. You stand perfectly still upon the mound of serene, cradled by the snowy white trees and the golden leaves, wrapped in a blanket of absolute serenity. Your breathing is slow, deep, and rhythmic. You are perfectly safe, entirely hidden from the world, and completely ready to drift away into the long, dark, and peaceful night. You reach the gentle summit of the great grassy mound, stepping out from beneath the immediate shadow of the snowy white trunks and into the heart of the inner glade. The climb has left you with a pleasant, heavy warmth in your limbs, a comfortable exhaustion that demands you pause. Before you, cradled within the protective ring of towering, golden-leafed mullein trees, lies a sight of such quiet perfection that it immediately stills your wandering thoughts. The unfading grass here is a sprawling canvas, painted with the most radiant winter flowers known to this world. You come to a complete halt, your shoulders dropping, allowing your eyes to adjust to the subtle luminescence of the earth. The sky above has deepened into a velvety night, a vast canopy of rich indigo speckled with the first faint silver stars. Yet, looking down, it is as if the starry sky has been mirrored upon the grass, creating an enclosed universe of profound, sleepy tranquility. Wading slowly into this fragrant sea, you are surrounded by the legendary flora of Lothlorien, flowers that defy the turning of the seasons. At your feet, shining brightly amid the dark, cool green of the sward, are thousands of yellow Eleanor blossoms. They are shaped like tiny, flawless stars, and in the dimming light, they emit their own intrinsic, soft, amber glow, mixing the memory of golden sunlight with the cool silver of the evening. Interwoven with these bright yellow stars are the fragile stalks of the pale nifridil. These flowers bear shades of pure white and the most delicate, pale green. They do not shine as the Eleanor do. Instead, they glimmer softly, appearing like a low-lying, luminous mist, settling gently over the rich hue of the grass. As the lazy night breeze wanders through the glade, the nifredile nod gracefully on their stems, a rhythmic swaying that mimics the steady rise and fall of a sleeping chest. The sheer volume of these blooms creates a mesmerizing pattern, overwhelming your senses with pure beauty. Driven by an instinctual need to connect with this peace, you slowly sink down, letting your knees rest against the incredibly soft, velvet-like moss. The earth supports you perfectly, wrapping your lower legs in a cool, fragrant embrace. You lean forward, bringing your face close to the ground, allowing your entire universe to shrink down to the microscopic details of a single Eleanor flower. Notice the 5 perfectly symmetrical petals unfurled like a star caught in the grass. Observe the incredibly fine veins running along the surface of the yellow petals, holding a reservoir of warm, golden light. By concentrating solely on the minute perfection of this single bloom, you perform a gentle magic upon your own mind. The massive, looming worries of your daily life are pushed entirely out of your consciousness. They cannot exist here, not when your mind is completely filled by the geometry of a tiny, golden star. You breathe in deeply, inhaling the crisp, exceptionally clean scent of the Eleanor, feeling a wave of heavy relaxation wash over your brain. Your heavy eyelids flutter, and your gaze drifts lazily to a nearby cluster of pale nifredil. You watch as a single white and green blossom sways in the faint breath of the wind. The flower looks incredibly fragile, yet it holds an ancient, enduring strength, blooming bravely in the twilight. It looks exactly like a drop of sea foam or a tear of pure mist suspended in midair. You focus on the blurred, soft edges of the nifredil, the way its pale green heart fades seamlessly into the white of its petals. There are no harsh lines here, no sharp contrasts to alarm the eyes, only smooth, dreamy transitions of color. As you inhale, imagine drawing in that cool, calming white mist, letting it circulate through your tired muscles, soothing the aches in your joints and cooling the frantic heat of your thoughts. And as you exhale, imagine breathing out a dark cloud of tension, watching it dissipate harmlessly into the night air, neutralized by the pure presence of the snowdrop flowers. Kneeling there, in the fragrant dark, you realize that time has completely ceased to matter. You are anchored in the present moment, tethered to the earth by the intricate beauty of the flora. The distant bubbling of the Nimrodal stream is now just a ghost of a sound, replaced entirely by the absolute silence of the starlit glade. High above, the golden leaves of the towering malon trees rustle ever so slightly, a sound like a long, soft sigh that cascades down through the branches to wash over you. You look down again at the sea of yellow stars and pale mist stretching out around you. The gentle, pendulum-like nodding of the flowers in the breeze becomes a visual metronome, a hypnotic, repetitive motion that pulls you deeper into a state of twilight trance. 1, 2, 3. The flowers sway left. 1, 2, 3. They sway right. Your head feels wonderfully heavy, your neck muscles relaxing as your chin dips slightly toward your chest. The desire to simply curl up and surrender to sleep is overwhelming. Yet, a distant, warm amber glow through the trees reminds you that a final sanctuary awaits you deeper in the city of the elves. With agonizing slowness, you press your hands against the yielding earth and push yourself back up to a standing position. Your legs feel delightfully heavy, like weights of lead wrapped in cotton, moving only with deliberate, sluggish effort. You take a long look at the glade of serene, committing the glow of the Eleanor and the mist of the Nifrdil to your deepest memory. You know with absolute certainty that whenever the waking world becomes too loud or demanding, you can close your eyes and return to this exact patch of starlit grass. You can always find this quiet sanctuary within your mind, taking a slow, deep breath of the floral air. You turn your body away from the clearing. Our boots drag softly through the velvet grass, taking languid steps toward the winding path. You carry the profound, microscopic peace of the winter flowers with you, wrapping it around your shoulders like a protective cloak. You leave the gentle, flower-crowned summit of Serene behind, beginning your slow, effortless descent down the opposite side of the grassy mound. As you leave the open glade, the dense, protective canopy of the golden wood closes over you once more, and you realize that deep night has finally, fully claimed the realm. The bruised purples and fading golds of twilight have vanished, entirely replaced by a vast, velvety expanse of deep indigo. This dark blue filters down through the pale golden leaves, casting the forest floor into a realm of soft, cooling shadows. The air has grown noticeably cooler, a crisp night breath that kisses your cheeks and completely clears away any lingering fog of daytime anxieties. Your path subtly changes here. The sprawling sward narrows into a winding trail, bordered and guided by the colossal, twisting silver roots of the ancient malorn trees. These massive roots rise from the moss like the smooth coils of slumbering sea creatures, their bark glowing with a faint luminescence in the dark. They provide a natural, meandering corridor, curving gently out of sight and pulling you deeper into the hidden heart of the elven sanctuary. You reach out a heavy, relaxed hand, letting your fingertips trail along the surface of these giant silver roots as you walk. The wood is remarkably smooth, cool to the touch, and devoid of any harsh ridges. It feels like polished stone warmed by centuries of gentle touch, providing a continuous, grounding connection to the earth. Your movements have become incredibly sluggish now, possessing the delightful, heavy languor that precedes a long, dreamless sleep. Each time you lift your boot, it feels as though invisible, soft weights are gently pulling it back down to the velvet moss. You do not fight this heaviness, you welcome it. You let your feet drag just a fraction of an inch through the fragrant grass, completely surrendering to the hypnotic, rhythmic swaying of your own body. The soundscape around you has deepened into a low, resonant hum, the collective, slow breathing of 10,000 ancient trees settling in for the night. The babble of the distant Nimrodel is gone, and the whispering wind has quieted to an almost imperceptible sigh. There is only the incredibly soft padding of your own footsteps, creating a steady baseline that lulls your conscious mind into a twilight surrender. As you round a slow curve in the silver-rooted path, a new, breathtaking detail emerges from the deep indigo shadows. Far in the distance, piercing through the cool, dark trunks of the Malorn Grove, you catch the very first glimpse of a warm, ambient light. It is not the distant, cold prick of a star, but a rich, inviting amber glow that seems to radiate pure coziness. As you continue your slow approach, the source of this warmth reveals itself. Suspended from the lower, sweeping boughs of the trees ahead are delicate, masterfully crafted elven lanterns. They are vessels of intricate metalwork, holding captive a light that shines in soft hues of green, gold, and silver. This light does not pierce or blind. It is an incredibly soft, painterly luminescence that spills out into the cool night air, creating pools of intense, welcoming warmth upon the forest floor. The visual contrast is stunning and deeply soporific. The surrounding world is a sea of dark, cool blues and shadowed teals, while these distant beacons offer a hearth-like, golden promise of sanctuary. Your heavy eyes fixate on these glowing orbs, mesmerized by the gentle halos they cast against the silver bark. The sight of these distant lanterns triggers a profound, biological wave of relief that cascades down the entire length of your spine. In the waking world, the mind is so often forced to remain vigilant, constantly scanning the horizon for the next task or hidden worry. But here, the primitive, protective parts of your brain recognize this warm, golden glow for exactly what it is: absolute, impenetrable security. It is the universal signal of a safe haven, a shelter carved out of the vastness of the night. You feel the very last, stubborn knots of tension in your lower back simply melt away. Your shoulders slump down even further, entirely freed from the invisible burdens you have carried for so long. The need to strive, to plan, or to anticipate the future completely evaporates into the cool, evening air. The promise of an enclosed sanctuary, of soft linens, and a quiet place to lay your head exerts a magnetic, soothing pull on your weary body. You are no longer just wandering. You are being gently drawn home, welcomed by a quiet city that has prepared a place specifically for your rest. You continue down the final stretch of this winding corridor, your pace slowing to an agonizingly peaceful crawl. With each sluggish step, the warm amber light of the lanterns grows slightly stronger, reaching out to bathe your tired form in a gentle golden wash. The light casts long, soft, cell-shaded shadows behind you, painting the story of your journey upon the moss. You perform a slow, sweeping inventory of your body, marveling at the utter lack of tension. Your arms swing with the heavy, loose momentum of a pendulum. Your jaw hangs perfectly slack, your lips parted just slightly as you breathe in the cool, flower-scented air. Your forehead is completely smooth, wiped clean of every furrow of concentration or worry. Your chest rises and falls with a deep oceanic slowness, your heart beating in perfect, lazy time with the pulse of the golden wood. You allow your eyelids to droop until they are nothing more than narrow slits, viewing the approaching lights through a sleepy, blurred haze. The lantern-lit bulwark of trees lies just ahead, waiting to wrap you in its ancient peace. You take one more dragging, relaxed step toward the golden glow, ready to sleep. The winding path of silver roots slowly begins to widen and straighten, leading you out of the wilder, meandering depths of the golden wood and toward a deliberate, majestic destination. Through the deep, cool, indigo shadows of the night, a massive silhouette rises before you, gently obscuring the lower halves of the towering malorn trees. It is a great wall of green earth, perfectly formed and covered in the same unfading, velvet-like grass that has cushioned your journey thus far. This is the outer bulwark of Caras Galadon, the hidden heart and capital of the Elven realm. The sheer scale of the earthen wall is breathtaking, yet it does not feel imposing or hostile. Instead, it radiates an aura of ancient, steadfast protection. It is a physical manifestation of a sanctuary, a barrier deliberately constructed to keep the weariness, sorrow, and restless anxieties of the outer world completely at bay. At the foot of this immense green rampart lies a wide, deep fosse, a moat of incredibly still, dark water that circles the entire city. The air here feels distinct, carrying a profound stillness that commands your body to slow down even further. You come to a gentle halt at the edge of the moat, allowing the profound quiet of this hidden fortress to settle over your weary shoulders. You stand at the edge of the dark water, gazing down into its glassy, unmoving surface. In the deep of the night, the moat acts as a perfect obsidian mirror. It reflects the rich, bruising purples and deep blues of the twilight sky above, along with the soft, blurred pinpricks of the evening stars. But more beautifully, the water captures the warm, cascading light of the elven city, fracturing the green, gold, and silver lamplight into long, slow ripples across the surface. Staring into this dark, hypnotic reflection, you feel a profound psychological shift taking place within your mind. This moat is the final boundary between the wandering journey and the absolute rest of the destination. As you breathe in the cool, humid air rising from the water, you consciously decide to leave every remaining fragment of your waking life on this side of the shore. Whatever tasks, deadlines, or lingering worries you have carried with you cannot cross this water. They belong to a distant, fading reality. You let out a long, slow sigh, watching a tiny wisp of your breath dissipate into the night air. Your heavy, relaxed limbs feel completely drained of the frantic energy of the day, replaced by a delightful, sinking numbness that prepares you to cross the threshold into true slumber. Spanning the quiet, reflective waters of the moat is a smooth, elegantly arched bridge that leads directly to the great gates of the city. The gates face the southwest, standing wide open in a gesture of absolute, welcoming peace. They are not forged from cold, harsh iron, but crafted from thick, ancient wood, seamlessly integrated into the living architecture of the forest. Framing the entrance are magnificent elven lanterns, masterworks of delicate metal suspended from the sturdy boughs overhead. They cast a light that is nothing short of magical, a soft, painterly luminescence in hues of pale green, warm gold, and cool, starlit silver. This light spills out from the open gates and across the bridge, creating a vibrant, glowing pathway that cuts through the deep, soporific blue of the night. The warm, amber glow reaches across the water to touch your face, wrapping you in a sensation of immense, hearth-like coziness. It is a visual lullaby a beacon of safety that speaks directly to the most primitive, exhausted parts of your mind, promising that a secure, hidden shelter has been prepared just for you. You take a slow, dragging step onto the bridge, your boots making a soft, rhythmic padding sound against the smooth wood. The crossing of the bridge is an exercise in deliberate, languid motion. With each heavy, sliding step, the warm glow of the city gates envelops you further, washing away the cool chill of the night. You pass beneath the ancient wooden archway, stepping off the bridge and onto the lush, manicured sward within the walls of Caras Galadon. The moment you cross this threshold, an overwhelming wave of absolute, impenetrable security wraps around your entire being. The air inside the city is noticeably different. It is thick with a protective magic, an ancient enchantment that ensures no shadow, no nightmare, and no harm can ever pierce these walls. Your subconscious vigilance, the quiet, hidden guard you keep raised throughout your daily life, finally recognizes that it is completely safe to power down. You feel the physical release of this vigilance in your chest, a sudden, wonderful loosening of muscles you did not even realize were clenched. Your heart rate slows to a deep, resting rhythm, syncing perfectly with the slow, eternal pulse of the living city around you. You are held within the ultimate sanctuary, cradled in the very heart of elvendom on earth, where the only task remaining is to surrender to the heavy, sweet pull of exhaustion. Inside the gates, Caras Galadon reveals itself not as a city of stone, but as a vast, slumbering forest of the largest malon trees you have ever seen. Their colossal, silver-gray trunks rise like the pillars of an unimaginably grand, natural cathedral, disappearing into the dark, golden-leafed canopy high above. The path before you winds gently between these gentle giants, illuminated by the intermittent, soft glow of silver and gold lantern. There is a profound, communal silence here. It is the hushed, deeply comforting quiet of a realm where thousands of ancient beings are resting together. You feel the collective weight of their slumber pressing softly against your own mind, encouraging your eyelids to droop lower and lower. The warm, ambient lamplight casts soft, cell-shaded shadows that dance slowly across the incredibly soft, green moss of the city floor. You walk with the heavy, uncoordinated steps of someone walking through a pleasant dream. Your head bows slightly, your neck muscles yielding to the weight of sleep. The majestic, lantern-lit city of trees blurs gently at the edges of your vision, forming a hazy, golden cocoon of warmth and safety. You are completely enveloped in the timeless, nostalgic peace of the elven sanctuary, drifting closer and closer to the deep, unbroken dark of a perfect night's rest. Having crossed the bridge and passed through the great gates, You now walk upon the pristine sward of Caras Galadon. The city is unlike anything built by mortal hands. There is no cold stone, no harsh corners, no paved streets to echo with the chaotic clamor of daily life. Instead, you find yourself wandering through a vast, ordered grove of the most magnificent malern trees in all of Middle-earth. Their colossal silver-gray trunks rise like the living pillars of an unimaginably grand, roofless cathedral, vanishing into the deep, star-swept canopy high above. But it is the silence of this place that truly captures your weary soul. It is a profound, communal stillness. Above you, hidden within the towering branches and the pale golden leaves, the Galadrim, the ancient, fair folk of the wood, are resting. You are surrounded by thousands of slumbering beings, an entire civilization wrapped in a quiet, undisturbed peace. This collective aura of sleep presses gently against your own mind, a heavy, invisible blanket that immediately begins to quiet the frantic, racing thoughts you have carried for so long. You do not feel alone, yet you feel completely unburdened by the presence of others. It is the perfect, solitary companionship of shared rest. As your heavy boots drag softly across the velvet moss, your eyes are drawn to the mesmerizing illumination that breathes life into the nocturnal city. Suspended from the sweeping boughs and nestled against the smooth silver bark are countless elven lanterns. They are masterpieces of ancient, delicate craft, holding captive a magical luminescence that does not burn or blind. These lamps cast a soft, painterly light in the most soothing, muted hues, a warm, hearth-like gold, a cool, starlit silver, and a pale, restful green. This tri-color glow spills gently through the deep indigo shadows of the night, creating a breathtaking visual harmony. The light does not pierce the darkness. Rather, it converses with it, creating deep, cozy pockets of illumination that guide your sluggish steps. The soft beams catch the edges of the golden leaves above, causing the entire canopy to simmer with a faint amber radiance. You allow your tired eyes to lose their focus, watching the green and gold lights blur into dreamy, floating orbs. The sheer beauty of the lighting is a visual lullaby, demanding absolutely nothing from your senses except a quiet, passive appreciation as your eyelids grow heavier and heavier. You come to a slow, drifting halt at the base of the largest malern tree you have yet encountered, a towering giant that feels like the very anchor of the world. You lean your shoulder against the cool, smooth silver bark, feeling the immense, ancient solidity of the living wood support your tired frame. In the waking world, sleep is often an act of vulnerability, a lowering of defenses that the anxious mind fights against. But here, leaning against the heart of Lothlorien, surrounded by the impenetrable magic of Galadriel and the quiet watchfulness of the elven wardens, that fear completely evaporates. You consciously realize that you do not need to stand guard over your own life tonight. The city is holding you. The trees are sheltering you. You take a long, deep breath in, drawing the cool, fragrant night air through your nose. It smells of clean earth, of sweet winter flowers, and of an ancient, unending safety. As you exhale in a long, slow sigh, you imagine pushing every last ounce of residual tension out of your body and into the roots of the great tree. You inhale the deep collective peace of the slumbering city, and you exhale the exhausting, solitary vigilance of your mortal life. The physical sensation of exhaustion is no longer an ache or a discomfort. It has transformed into a delightful, overwhelming heaviness that you are eager to surrender to. Beginning at the crown of your head, a wave of warm, soothing numbness begins to cascade downward. You feel it smooth away the lines of concentration on your forehead, relaxing the tiny muscles around your heavy, drooping eyes. The warmth flows down through your jaw, leaving your mouth slightly open, your tongue resting softly. It pours over your shoulders, pressing them down away from your ears, and travels slowly down your arms, leaving your hands hanging completely limp and motionless at your sides. Your chest rises and falls with an oceanic slowness, a rhythm that requires no conscious effort at all. The heavy warmth continues down your spine, releasing the tight knots in your lower back, flowing into your hips and traveling down your tired leg. Your feet, planted firmly in the soft, yielding moss, feel as though they have taken root. You are perfectly anchored to the earth, incredibly safe, and so profoundly tired that the mere thought of moving requires an impossible effort. You are simply existing, suspended in a state of pure twilight comfort. With the last reserves of your fading energy, you tilt your head back against the silver trunk and gaze upward into the dizzying heights of the Malorn. High above, nestled securely in the massive, spreading branches, you can see the soft, welcoming glow of the Telain, the wooden flets where the elves make their beds. They look like warm, golden fireflies caught in a net of silver and dark leaves. One of those high sanctuaries is waiting for you. The promise of soft linens, of total isolation from the ground, and of a cradle suspended in the night sky fills you with an overwhelming sense of sleepy anticipation. The distance up into the branches does not daunt you. Instead, it feels like the final, necessary transition into the realm of dreams. The gentle, rhythmic swaying of the highest branches in the night breeze catches your eye, a slow, pendulum motion that hypnotizes your weary brain. The green, gold, and silver lights of the city begin to swim and merge together as your eyes finally refuse to stay completely open. You are entirely enveloped in the magic of the golden wood, your mind swept clean of all worldly concerns, ready to begin the slow, rhythmic ascent to your resting place in the stars. You stand at the base of the mightiest Malorn tree in all of Caris Galadon, a living monument that commands the hidden city. Its great smooth bole gleams in the dim light like an expanse of flawless grey silk, towering upward until its first branches disappear into shadowy clouds of dark golden leaves far above. Beside this colossal trunk, a broad, curving white stairway stands, winding its way gently upward around the circumference of the ancient wood. This is not a harsh construction of nails and rough-hewn planks, but an elegant, sweeping ascent that seems to flow naturally from the earth itself. The craftsmen of this realm have trained the very branches and wood to grow into perfectly stable, sturdy platforms, ensuring that the architecture is entirely in harmony with the living forest. You pause before the first step, resting your hand against the curved railing. The wood is remarkably smooth, polished by the gentle passage of countless elven footsteps over the long centuries. Taking a slow, deep breath of the crisp night air, you prepare to leave the ground behind and begin your final ascent towards sanctuary. You place your heavy boot upon the first white step, feeling the absolute solidity of the structure beneath your weight. As you shift your balance and pull yourself upward, you initiate a slow, hypnotic rhythm that will carry you into the canopy. Left foot, right foot, step, and pause. The physical effort required is minimal, yet the repetitive nature of the climbing motion instantly begins to lull your conscious mind into a deeper state of trance. With every upward step, you can feel the residual tension in your calves and thighs gently stretching and releasing. Your body is moving with the sluggish, delightful languor of someone wading through a pleasant, heavy dream. There is no urgency in this place, no ticking clock to hasten your pace. You allow yourself to linger on each wooden step, fully experiencing the sensation of being safely suspended between the soft moss of the forest floor and the starlit sky. The rhythmic padding of your boots against the white wood becomes a steady, comforting metronome, drowning out any anxious thoughts from the waking world. As you ascend higher along the winding path, the vast, slumbering city of the Galadrim gently falls away beneath you. Because the broad stairway curves tightly around the massive girth of the tree, your field of vision is intentionally narrowed and focused. You cannot see the distant horizon. You can only see the smooth silver bark to your side, the wooden steps immediately ahead, and the soft, magical light that guides your way. Stairways of ladders and curved steps are built seamlessly around the main trees, and at night the city is beautifully lit by many delicate lamps. These elven lanterns, suspended from the branches just above the stairwell, cast pools of radiant light in soothing hues of pale green, warm gold, and crisp silver. The illumination does not strain your tired eyes. Instead, It washes over you in a soft, painterly glow, throwing long, cell-shaded shadows that dance slowly across the white wood. The amber light wraps around your shoulders like a warm blanket, fending off the cool chill of the deep indigo night. Focus entirely on the synchronicity of your breath and your movement. As you lift your foot to conquer another step, take a long, slow inhalation through your nose. Draw in the sweet, ancient fragrance of the winter flowers that still lingers on the night air, letting it fill your lungs and cool your heavy mind. As your boot settles firmly onto the next platform, release that breath in a long, drawn-out sigh, letting your shoulders slump and your jaw relax completely. Inhale and step. Exhale and settle. This conscious, deliberate breathing pattern activates the deepest restorative functions of your body, signaling to your nervous system that it is finally safe to power down completely. The higher you climb, the heavier your eyelids become. The soft green and gold lights of the lanterns begin to blur at the edges of your vision, turning into fuzzy, floating orbs of warmth that drift peacefully in the darkness. You are caught in a beautiful loop of ascending, feeling lighter in spirit but overwhelmingly heavier in your physical form. You reach a small, semicircular wooden landing built into a natural crook of the colossal tree, offering a brief moment of respite. You come to a gentle halt, leaning your back entirely against the smooth, silver-gray bark of the main trunk. The wood is cool and incredibly solid, providing a perfect anchor in the high air. Closing your eyes, you can feel the slow, imperceptible vibration of the ancient Malorn tree swaying ever so slightly in the high night winds. It is a massive, living cradle, rocking you with a rhythm that spans centuries. The ambient soundscape up here is reduced to a whispered hush. The thick, dark golden leaves of the canopy rustle together, creating a soft, continuous wave of white noise that silences any remaining echoes of the waking world. You are entirely isolated from the ground, suspended safely in the hidden heights of elvendom. There is nowhere else to travel, no further paths to navigate, and no responsibilities waiting for you. You stand on the landing, bathed in starlight and silver lantern glow, allowing the sheer exhaustion of your journey to wash over you in heavy waves. Gathering the very last sluggish reserves of your energy, you push away from the trunk and begin the final sequence of steps. Looking up, the top of the broad white ladder disappears into the dense, shadowy clouds of leaves above. Piercing through that foliage, you can see the incredibly warm, inviting amber glow of the Tellane, the elevated wooden sanctuaries where your rest awaits. That glowing destination acts as a gentle, magnetic force, pulling you upward through the thick, sleepy atmosphere of the night. Your limbs feel like they are wrapped wrapped in thick cotton, moving only with the most deliberate, languid effort. You slide your hand up the smooth wooden railing, feeling the intricate, handcrafted grain beneath your fingertips. One final step. The transition from the arduous journey to the ultimate resting place is almost complete. You are shedding the last remnants of your worldly armor, preparing to step into a space of pure, unadulterated comfort. As your boot touches the uppermost edge of the great stairway, you let out a soft, contented sigh, completely ready to surrender to the unbroken peace of the golden wood. With one final, deliberate exertion of your heavy limbs, your boot clears the uppermost step of the winding wooden stair. You pull yourself forward, shifting your weight entirely off the ladder and stepping onto the smooth, expansive surface of the talon. This is the flat, the high, hidden sanctuary of the wood elves, suspended seamlessly within the massive, branching crown of the ancient Malorn tree. The moment both of your feet rest firmly upon this elevated platform, a profound and absolute wave of relief washes through your entire body. The physical journey, the endless walking, the wading through streams, and the long, rhythmic climb have all come to their rightful end. There is nowhere else you need to travel tonight, no further milestones to reach, and absolutely no more effort required of your tired muscles. You come to a complete, swaying halt at the threshold of the platform, resting your hands heavily on the elegantly carved wooden railing. Your chest rises and falls in long, slow, exhausted sighs. With every exhalation, you feel the residual tension draining from your calves and thighs, melting away into the solid wood beneath you. You are enveloped in the incredibly quiet, isolated atmosphere of the high canopy, completely separated from the dense forest floor far below. The air up here is crisper, cooler, and carries the pure, untainted scent of starlight and golden leaves, clearing your mind of any lingering fog from the waking world. As your eyes lazily adjust to the dim, inviting space, you realize that this elven dwelling is entirely unlike the cramped, enclosed rooms of mortal lands. The flat is a wide, open-air pavilion, yet it feels more secure and sheltered than any fortress of stone. The architecture here does not fight against nature. It flows with it in perfect, effortless harmony. Thick, silver-gray branches curve naturally around the perimeter, acting as living walls, while a dense, overlapping canopy of pale gold leaves forms a protective, rustling roof overhead. The craftsmanship of the platform itself is breathtaking, though your tired mind can only process it in soft, blurry impressions. The floorboards are wide and flawlessly smooth, joined together without a single harsh angle, showcasing the fine, natural grain of the wood. The furniture scattered across the space features organic, flowing curves that mimic the graceful arches of vines and roots. Being this high, above the ground triggers a deep, primitive sense of absolute security within your subconscious. You are tucked away in the highest reaches of the world, completely inaccessible to the anxieties, demands, and predators of the earth below. This extreme elevation provides a psychological permission to let down every single one of your defenses. You are hidden, cradled in the very palm of the ancient tree, wrapped in a cocoon of safety that encourages your heavy eyelids to droop lower with each heartbeat. Through the sleepy haze of your vision, your gaze is inevitably drawn to the heart of this elevated sanctuary. Nestled in the most sheltered alcove of the platform, flanked by two sturdy silver branches, rests a wide, incredibly inviting bed. It is a masterpiece of elvish comfort, built directly into the organic curves of the wood. You can see the thick, plush layers of natural materials waiting to embrace you. Soft, woven linens, fine, breathable silks, and warm, aged leather, all stacked together to create a cloud-like haven of rest. Beside the bed, resting on a smooth, low table, sits a single, delicate, elven lantern. It is the only source of light on the flat, a quiet sentinel guarding your sleep. The lantern emits an incredibly soft, dim, warm, amber glow that barely pushes back the shadows. This gentle, painterly light does not strain your eyes. Instead, it casts long, slow, cell-shaded highlights across the wrinkled linens and the smooth silver bark, creating a scene of ultimate hearth-like coziness. Beyond the railing of the flat, the vast expanse of the deep indigo night sky stretches out, dotted with soft, blurred silver stars. The stark contrast between the cool, dark, immense night outside and the small, warm, amber-lit pocket of safety inside deepens your sense of comfort. It is the perfect visual representation of sanctuary, a quiet, glowing refuge carved out of the vastness of the dark. You stand at the edge of the platform for another long moment, consciously preparing your body to transition from movement into complete, uninterrupted stillness. If you carry any heavy cloaks or any lingering burdens from your long journey, you imagine slipping them off your shoulders right now. You let them fall to the smooth wooden floor with a soft thud, abandoning them entirely. They do not matter here. Nothing of the outside world matters here. You uncurl your tired fingers, letting your hands hang completely limp and heavy at your side. You roll your neck with agonizing slowness, feeling the tight, knotted muscles at the base of your skull finally soften and unwind. The silence of the high canopy is a living, breathing entity composed only of the softest, most natural frequencies. You hear the incredibly faint, rhythmic rustling of the golden leaves above you, a gentle, shushing sound that mimics the soothing white noise of a distant, calm ocean. You hear the slow, deep creak of the ancient malorn tree swaying imperceptibly in the night wind, a sound that speaks of profound age and enduring strength. This acoustic tapestry acts as a hypnotic lullaby, actively slowing your conscious mind, smoothing out your thoughts until they are as flat and calm as a perfectly still lake. Drawn by an irresistible magnetic pull, you finally begin to walk toward the amber-lit bed. Your boots drag softly across the smooth, polished wood, each step feeling heavier and more sluggish than the last. You are wading through invisible, heavy water, your limbs wrapped in thick layers of pleasant, numbing exhaustion. The short distance across the flat feels like a slow-motion dream. As you step into the warm, dim halo of the bedside lantern, the sweet, calming scent of the Eleanor flowers seems to concentrate, filling your lungs with a pure, sleep-inducing fragrance. You reach the edge of the bed, trailing a heavy, relaxed hand over the incredibly soft linens. The fabric is cool to the touch, yet promises immediate, enveloping warmth. Your knees feel weak, entirely ready to buckle and surrender to gravity. You slowly turn, feeling the edge of the mattress press gently against the backs of your legs. The warm, amber light wraps around you, a final, comforting embrace from the waking world. You take one last, deep, slow breath of the high, clean air, fully prepared to let go, completely ready to sink down into the profound, dreamless embrace of the elven sanctuary. You yield entirely to the gentle, downward pull of gravity, allowing your exhausted body to sink slowly onto the surface of the elven bed. The mattress is a masterful creation of the Galadrim, woven from the softest, most resilient natural fibers found within the golden wood. As your back makes contact, it feels as though you are settling into a cloud of fragrant, springy moss that has been perfectly contoured to hold your weary frame. The support beneath you is absolute, yet it yields with a delightful, cushioning softness that immediately begins to absorb the deep-seated aches in your bones. You reach out your hands, dragging your heavy fingertips across the layered coverings. You feel the incredible, whisper-thin smoothness of fine, elven silk cool against your heated skin, and the reassuring, earthy weight of aged, supple leather that has been buffed to a velvet finish. These exquisite textures provide a somatosensory symphony, grounding your wandering mind entirely in the profound physical comfort of the present moment. With a long, slow exhalation, you pull the topmost woven linen up to your shoulders, wrapping yourself in a cocoon of warmth that smells faintly of dried Eleanor flowers and crisp, starlit air. The last of your waking resistance completely dissolves into the mattress, Lying perfectly still on your back, you allow your heavy gaze to wander past the gently curving wooden railing of the flat and out into the vast, open expanse of the night. From this elevated sanctuary, the world takes on a breathtaking, dreamlike quality. The sky is a deep, endless ocean of rich indigo and dark violet, utterly free from the haze and smoke of mortal lands. Sprinkled across this velvet canvas are the soft, blurred pinpricks of ancient silver stars, their light traveling across unimaginable distances just to keep watch over your rest. But the true magic lies within the canopy of the golden wood itself. Peering through the gaps in the dark, overlapping malorn leaves, you can see the neighboring Telaine scattered throughout the sprawling forest city. They appear as warm, golden fireflies suspended gracefully in the cool night air, each one representing a quiet, hidden haven where other ancient souls have laid down to sleep. The gentle, ambient, amber glow of these distant lanterns creates a mesmerizing constellation of safety all around you. Watching them flicker and sway ever so slightly in the high branches brings a wave of deep, communal peace to your heart. You are alone in your rest, completely unburdened, yet you are surrounded by an entire sleeping realm. The soundscape of this high altitude is a masterclass in natural tranquility. Far below, the earthly noises of rushing streams and rustling undergrowth have been completely muffled by the sheer density of the forest. Up here, cradled within the crown of the great tree, there is only the majestic, rhythmic breathing of the wind. It moves through the canopy with a slow, sweeping motion, causing the millions of pale golden leaves to brush against one another. The resulting sound is a soft, continuous, ocean-like shushing, a perfect, unbroken wave of white noise that washes over your mind, drowning out any residual anxieties or lingering thoughts from the long day. Beneath this soothing whisper, you can feel, rather than hear, the deep, resonant creak of the colossal malorn trunk as it sways a fraction of an inch in the night breeze. This microscopic, pendulum-like motion is incredibly subtle, yet it translates into a faint, rocking sensation that travels up through the wooden platform and into your bed. It is as if the ancient, living architecture of Lothlorien has become a giant, loving cradle, gently rocking you back and forth, coaxing your brainwaves to slow down and synchronize with the timeless, unhurried pulse of the earth itself. Now, grant yourself the absolute permission to shut down completely, beginning a slow, deliberate journey of relaxation through your own body. Bring your fading attention down to your toes, consciously instructing them to uncurl and release their grip on the waking world. Let that feeling of profound, melting looseness travels slowly up through the soles of your feet and into your ankles. The dull, throbbing ache of your long journey is gently drawn out of your calves and your shins, replaced by a delightful, heavy warmth that anchors your lower legs firmly to the mattress. Feel this heavy numbness rise over your knees and sweep into your thighs, sinking them deep into the plush, fragrant linens. Your entire lower body now feels as though it is made of solid, warm lead, completely immovable and perfectly at peace. There is no desire to shift, no urge to turn or adjust. There is only a magnificent, sinking stillness. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling your chest and abdomen rise with a lazy, oceanic swell, and as you exhale, you let your hips and your lower back press firmly into the perfect support of the elven bed. Continue this wave of heavy tranquility upward, letting it pour over your torso and into your shoulders. The heavy burdens you have carried, the invisible weights of responsibility and fear, simply slide off your shoulders and vanish into the shadows. Your arms, completely devoid of tension, rest heavily by your sides. You feel the relaxation unspooling down your biceps, flowing past your elbows and pooling into your wrists, leaving your hands and fingers entirely limp and soft upon the silk sheet. Finally, let the soothing numbness travel up the back of your neck, releasing the tight, knotted muscles at the base of your skull. Unclench your jaw, allowing your lips to part slightly as your breathing becomes deep, rhythmic, and incredibly slow. Smooth away the final, stubborn lines of concentration from your forehead. Your heavy eyelids, which have been fluttering lazily as you watched the distant golden lights, finally surrender to gravity, sliding shut and sealing you inside a private, velvety darkness. The amber glow of the bedside lantern fades into a soft, warm memory behind your closed eyes. You are completely untethered from the waking world, sinking down, down, down into the safe, ancient, and unbroken slumber of the golden wood. The transition from waking to resting is now complete as you surrender your exhausted body to the unparalleled comfort of the elven bed. Suspended high above the forest floor, this wooden platform, known in the ancient days as a flet or a talon, cradles you within the majestic crown of the Malorn tree. You are no longer a weary traveler, burdened by the relentless demands of the waking world. You are a welcomed guest in the heart of the golden wood, surrounded by the slumbering presence of the Galadrim. The natural fibers of the mattress yield perfectly beneath you, absorbing the deep aches of your journey. Every muscle is granted permission to power down. The fine silks and woven linens draped over you provide a gentle warmth that counters the crisp breath of the night air. You sink deeper into the plush bedding, feeling a profound physical paralysis take over your limbs. It is a delightful, heavy numbness that anchors you safely. You have reached the ultimate destination a sanctuary where nothing more is required. Beside your bed, resting upon an organically curved wooden table, the delicate elven lantern keeps its quiet watch. For centuries, the Noldor have been renowned for crafting such magical lamps, vessels of intricate metalwork holding a remarkably soft, enduring light. As if sensing your body's readiness for sleep, the warm amber glow begins to subtly dim. The transition is slow and graceful. The bright gold softens into a hazy yellow, and then into a whisper of pale, sleepy silver. As the lantern fades, the deep, velvet-like shadows of the high canopy draw closer, pooling comfortably around the edges of your bed. The fading light acts as a visual cue for your consciousness, signaling your brain to let go of the day's final thoughts. You watch the dying embers of the lantern through half-closed, heavy eyelids, mesmerized by the slow retreat of the illumination. The contrast between the fading warmth inside the flet and the cooling expanse of the deep indigo night outside creates an atmosphere of supreme coziness. You are wrapped in a shrinking bubble of ambient light. As the glow of the lantern subsides, your eyes adjust to the ethereal illumination of the night sky filtering through the forest roof. Looking straight up, you behold the breathtaking architecture of the Malorn canopy. Unlike the brittle foliage of mortal autumns, these magnificent leaves do not fall as cold months approach. They turn to a luminous pale gold and remain firmly on their silver branches throughout the winter. They form a dense, overlapping ceiling, a glowing roof supported by living pillars of smooth, silver-gray bark. Through the scattered gaps in this golden tapestry, you see the deep, rich blue of the night heaven, heavily studded with blurred stars. The starlight trickles down like silver rain, catching the edges of the golden leaves and creating a faint, magical shimmer across the canopy. This celestial view is deeply hypnotic. You find your gaze drifting lazily from one star to another, your mind entering the fragmented, floating state of early stage sleep. The overwhelming beauty of the starlit canopy demands nothing but passive observation. The profound peace you feel in this elevated haven is not merely the absence of noise. It is an active, supernatural tranquility permeating the air of Lothlorien. You rest within a realm enriched and protected by the magic of Galadriel and the power of her ring, Nenya, creating an invisible barrier against all malice. Because of this ancient enchantment, no blemish, sickness, or deformity can exist in anything that grows upon this earth. This absolute purity translates into impenetrable psychological safety. Your subconscious mind, normally vigilant, even in sleep, recognizes it is entirely defended here. The invisible armor you wear every day to protect yourself from stress and sorrow, dissolves completely into the night breeze. You are held in an earthly paradise, an elf land where the destructive march of ordinary time is suspended. The grim years and heavy burdens are lifted from your face, leaving your expression smooth, slack, and deeply relaxed. You breathe the impossibly clean scent of the high wood, feeling the restorative magic of the elven sanctuary healing you. Up here, in the dizzying heights of the Caras Galadon canopy, the acoustic environment is a masterpiece of sleep-inducing white noise. The distant, musical bubbling of the Nimrodel stream has been completely swallowed by the vastness of the forest. In its place is the slow, rhythmic breathing of the wind, sweeping through millions of pale, golden leaves. The Malern leaves, large and resilient, do not rattle harshly. They brush together with a soft, continuous, shushing sound. It mimics the rolling hush of a calm ocean tide upon a distant shore. Hush, hush. The sound cascades down from the topmost branches, washing over your tired mind in endless, unbroken waves. This steady frequency masks sudden noises, providing a flawless auditory blanket for restorative sleep. You synchronize your breathing with the rhythm of the wind. As the breeze swells, you take a long, slow inhalation, filling your lungs with peace. As the breeze fades into a whisper, you exhale, pushing the very last remnants of conscious energy out into the night. Beneath the sound of the leaves, one purely physical sensation guides you into the absolute depths of slumber. You feel the slow, resonant creak of the colossal malorn trunk as it yields slightly to the high night winds. Suspended so high in the branches, this microscopic shifting translates into a gentle, sweeping, rocking motion. The entire tree acts as a magnificent, living cradle, swaying back and forth with a rhythm spanning centuries. This movement taps directly into your deepest biological instincts, soothing your vestibular system and lulling you completely out of consciousness. Your breathing slows until it perfectly matches the rise and fall of the forest. The last sliver of silver starlight fades from your awareness as your heavy eyelids seal shut. The boundaries between your body and the soft elven linens disappear. There is no more past to regret, no future to anticipate. There is only the endless, ancient now. Surrounded by the impenetrable safety of the golden wood, your mind finally lets go, drifting away into a profound, healing, dreamless sleep.